Hey YouTube, if you're trying to get over somebody, today I'm here to help you out. Okay, I try to give the best advice to people that's dealing with toxic relationships and people that abuses them. Okay, so I may not be the best person to talk to, but I do give good advice. And moving on can be hard for some people because it's hard for people to detach. Some people got abandoned issues. So you can't just move on fast because it is hard for some people. Okay. Also, the attachment will make it harder for somebody to leave. The memories will make it harder for somebody to leave. So you have to be mindful if you're sure that you want to move on from this person, no matter who they are. Whether it's family, a friendship, a relationship, you need to make sure that it's worth it that you move on from this person. Okay, I don't want you to just leave over something small because people make mistakes. We're in a world where a lot of people make mistakes. So not everybody's going to be perfect. Not everybody's going to make you happy when you want them to. So you need to make sure that this situation is big enough for you to cut them off and move on. And the other thing is, if the communication is bad, it's not going to work out. How is something going to work? How is a relationship, a friendship, anything going to work out without communication? Communication is number one. If y'all cannot communicate, then it's not going to work out. You need to move on because you need to be with somebody, or somebody needs to appreciate you for communicating. You need to be with somebody that communicates and understands what's wrong with the situation. You need to be with somebody mature enough to actually talk about the situation. And if they cannot do that, the person that you're with or the person that you live with, or it could be any situation, if they cannot do that, they're not the one. It's not going to work. The relationship with the person that you're with or you have, it's not going to work. Okay? If they take advantage of you a lot, it's not going to work. Okay, people only take advantage of people they know that's weak, or they know won't say anything, or if you're too nice, they can do that. There's many ways to take advantage of somebody, okay? If you don't say no, they're going to take advantage of you. Always say no, even when you feel uncomfortable, okay? And that's the other thing. That's when you need to move on. You need to know your worth. You need to know who you are. Know your fucking worth, okay? It's not easy, but you need to know who you are, because this shit can mess up your mental. All this can mess you up for what you have, for who you are. It can mess you up. So you need to know your worth in situations. If you feel like you're disrespected, right? If you feel like somebody keeps running over you and they keep disrespecting you, you need to move on. It's simple as that, okay? It may be hard, but you need to know your worth. You need to know who you are, okay? Especially if you're a good-looking person. It's not about looks, but don't get me wrong. You need to know who you are. Okay? Because if you don't know who you are, they're going to show you who you are. And you don't want them to do that. You don't want them to show you who you really are. Because it shouldn't be like, how can I say it? They shouldn't have to show you who you are. You should show yourself who you are. Is what I'm trying to say. So, knowing your worth, keeping composure, stop breaking that no contact, however you say it. Let things be what they are. If they're not doing right, or if they're not trying to change, if they're not trying to do right, they're not going to do right anyways, you know? So leave it alone. Okay? Take my advice. I love y'all so much.